A letter to my 17-year-old broke, older, poorer self getting started in wholesaling real estate. What is up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, what I want to do is give you some of the brutal, honest truths I wish I knew at 17 years old that I could have told my older, more poor self so I could actually make even more money now in wholesaling real estate. And what I want to do is give some brutal advice of exactly what I should have done and what you need to do right now in 2024 to get rich in wholesaling real estate. Number one, and this is a very important lesson I wish I knew, but you do not have to run through a brick wall when there's a door right there. And what I mean by that is so many wholesalers getting started in real estate, they will go crazy, they'll get super motivated, and they'll run through a brick wall just to get rich in wholesaling. They'll do whatever it takes to become successful. And yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty gangster. That's exciting, right? But the truth is so many people will work so hard and not smart. They'll grind and grind and grind and grind. And that's great, I guess. But really there are easier options to be done right there than just grinding like crazy. For example, when I was cold calling 5 hours a day, yeah, that was a little excessive. That was a little nuts, and I did get deals doing it, so it did end up well for me. But if I decided I wanted to do like reverse drawing for dollars instead, I could have probably worked less and made even more money. And so the brutal, honest lesson I need to learn here was, yes, it is great to grind and have that discipline and accountability, but sometimes you have your head so far down sprinting, you don't look around, and there sometimes are better options. Now, I'm not telling you to go abandon everything and have analysis paralysis, but just always keep your options open and always have an open mind to new things. When I started learning this lesson, I was about 19 years old, and I started SMS text blasting, and that definitely helped me out delegation and things like that, that frankly, if I started texting when I was 17 or 18 years old, I would have ended up making way more money. Now, the next lesson here is it's not just how good of marketing you have. Sometimes there's a roll of the dice and you're just in the right market. What I've personally found is the right market can be just as important as the right marketing. And yes, I know everyone and their mom loves to complain about their market, but the truth is most markets are pretty good. But some of you guys have the wrong market. And I really learned this lesson when I was 19, 20 years old, that I was blessed getting started in wholesaling real estate with my results because I was in a really good market. And frankly, if I was in LA, San Francisco, New York City, Miami, I might have not gotten the same good results that I did starting out in wholesaling real estate, even if I did that grind marketing that I did have. So the truth here is if you're not in a good market, maybe you should do some virtual wholesaling. Remember, if your county's population is over 100,000 and your median home price for your city is below 400, you are in a good market, stay there. But if it's not, you might need to consider virtual wholesaling so you have a better shot at becoming successful. Number three, this is one I absolutely love. Nobody cares, work harder. The sentence that nobody cares could be very hurtful or very motivating for a lot of people. When I hear that nobody cares, I look at it cool, which means if I mess up, nobody's gonna care or make fun of me. Heck, people are so caught up in what they're doing in their daily lives that they don't really care what anyone else is really doing. Even your friends or family that'll judge you, at the end of the day, they truly only care about themselves and what's going on. Not saying they're super selfish people, but they have their own lives to be dealing with. So that means if anyone's giving you any clap back or they're saying anything bad against you getting into wholesaling real estate, it doesn't matter. Just work harder. And if you're out here making excuses about how tired you are, how difficult wholesaling is, and how just everything is not working, or you're just trying and nothing's going well, stop moping. Nobody cares. You just got to keep working harder. If you're not where you're at right now in your life, you cannot make excuses. You actually have to go out here and make the change and actually get rich. The truth is most wholesalers always complain and they don't end up ever becoming successful. The winners win and the losers lose. What you need to do right now is actually make a mindset change and start getting rich. Number four, people will lie, sellers will screw you, JV partners will screw you. People are just going to screw you in general. Get over it. This is such an important lesson I wish I knew getting started in wholesaling after I've had so many people try to screw me. But every single month, I get some person trying to cut me out of a deal, try to get me to lose $20,000 or $30,000. And frankly, as a millionaire and someone that makes a lot of money wholesaling, overall, it's a net good for me in wholesaling. But I've learned to overcome and really get over the mental hurdle of people always trying to screw you on a deal. When you do the amount of deals that I do on a daily basis, there's always going to be a couple people every month try to really screw you hard. And either you can take that one bad apple and make you just bitter about wholesaling, or you decide, you know what, this is just part of the game. It's out of my control and I'm still going to be good. And I'm still going to trust other people, but still kind of be a little weary until that trust is built. I'll tell you this frankly, in wholesaling real estate, there's only one person I trust in utter undying trust, and that is Rick Ginn, my dad. Outside of him, my actual father, there's really nobody else in wholesaling real estate that I can tell you I have 100% trust of. Now, there are plenty of people that are pretty close, 99, 98%. But still in the back of your head, you still have to have that thought of what did you do if something bad happens? Don't expect everyone to screw you, but always have a game plan and an understanding of what to do if that does happen. And always set your boundaries with your cash buyers and vetting everyone properly. But sometimes you might think you vetted it perfectly and you get screwed. Seller's gonna lie to you, cash buyer's gonna lie to you. You just gotta get over it and keep going on the positives. Number 5, people will support you until you start doing better than them. I found this out the hard way in wholesaling real estate. A lot of wholesalers were there to support me and say, yeah, you keep going, until I started making more money than them. What you have to understand is people, especially in the United States of America, they'll always root for you to do well. But until you start doing really successful stuff, then they stop being your supporter and they start being your hater. I've seen so many of my supporters, so many of the people in my come up in wholesaling support me until I ended up doing more than them and they started becoming my hater. So the truth is, once you understand that concept and really grasp it, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. Number 6, this is one I absolutely love. Shut up and do the work in silence. What do I mean by this? You have to stop saying that you're gonna get into wholesaling and you're doing this and you're telling everyone about it. A lot of you guys get dopamine hits just talking about how you're gonna get your first deal. Science has shown that when you say you're gonna do something, you almost get the same dopamine rush as actually achieving that thing, which really defeats the purpose of you getting into wholesaling real estate. So what do I mean by this? If you say, hey, I'm gonna make $100,000 this year in wholesaling real estate, mom, dad, and everyone else, you get excited, you love telling people all about it, and maybe you generally have good intentions in your heart. But when you tell that, people have the power when you say that to go take what you've given them and then just stomp it on the ground and beat it and make you feel bad. I was really never a victim of this because I was always the person that worked in silence. But what I can tell you is real gangsters make moves in silence. They make moves, not excuses, but they always do it with silence. Real gangsters in wholesaling real estate, real G's, they make their results speak louder than anything else. And this is what you must do. Think about this for a second, and I challenge every 16 and 17-year-old watching this to do this because I've had a lot of people say, hey, I'm 16, 17 years old. I want to get into wholesaling real estate. I got excited. I told my friends about it. I told my family, and my family said it's a scam. I shouldn't do it, and they're not going to support me. What do I do now? And this is always a funny thing. And so I've talked to a lot of 16, 17-year-olds about this, and basically what I told them is let your results speak louder than the words you say. And this is always funny because one person who was 17 years old that actually made 20 grand their first month. Remember, at 17 years old, I made 20 grand my first month. And I told them, just get the check and your parents will stop being a hater. And they're like, no, it won't. I'm like, yes, trust me. And so what that person did, they made $20,000 in a month wholesaling houses, and then they showed their parents the check. And guess what? Magically, the parents were like, oh, you spent no money? An attorney, a real estate attorney at a real legitimate title company signed the check? This is all legitimate? And you spent zero money? Zach didn't scam you? Huh. Well, that's about 4 months of our salary. Yeah, you should probably keep doing that. Wow. And you'll see really quickly how much your friends' opinions will change about what you're doing. One of my old wrestling coaches always made fun of me for leaving wrestling practice right when I had to go because I was going to put bandit signs out. It's like, oh, you're still doing that real estate thing, huh? And kind of in a condescending way, not in a mean way, but still in a condescending way. I'd be like, stop doing that. And the truth is, if they knew I was making triple their salary wholesaling houses at 17, 18 years old, they wouldn't be looking at it like I should not be doing that. The truth is, you cannot say something and not back it up. Let your results speak way louder than your words. Number 8, most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years. This is definitely true of me getting started in wholesaling real estate. I don't think I ever overestimated what I can do in a year, but what I wanted to do is make $100,000 by the time I was like 30 years old. And obviously, I'm doing way more than that every single month in wholesaling real estate. So I definitely underestimated what I can do in 10 years. Heck, I'm even 7 years in the game. I don't know where I'm going to be at in 10 years, but I know it's going to be more than where I'm at now. What I can tell you, a lot of you guys have these crazy hefty goals of making $2, $3, $4, $500,000 your first year. You don't hit it and you're sad. The truth is, what I found in wholesaling real estate is expectations minus reality is going to be your happiness. What you expect versus what actually happens is going to be how happy you are. For example, if you expected not to be alive in the next year, let's say a doctor said you had 6 months to live and you're actually alive after a year, your happiness is going to be over the moon. But if you didn't get a Lambo in a year, you're going to be super upset. Isn't that crazy? You just waking up today, you should be completely grateful and happy and ecstatic that you actually are alive. But the truth is, how human beings work is we get in a rut, we get in our systems, and we always forget about that little thing that's super really important in our life. So always have your reality checked with your expectations. Number 9, and this is probably the most important lesson for people starting out in wholesaling real estate. Your haters and people that don't support you getting started in wholesaling real estate, you probably have friends and family members doing this. Number 1, they gave up a long time ago of chasing their dreams, so they don't want you to chase their dreams too. They want to be just like them. I gave up on my dreams, so I need you to give up on yours too. And the truth is, your haters and non-supporters, they might seem like forever haters and forever non-supporters. But once you make it, they will always claim that they supported you. So what that means is, kind of like I said before, if your parents are not supporting you and you start making a ton of money, they're going to start supporting you then. That means, why don't you just keep going? Even though if they say they want you to get into wholesaling, why don't you just do it anyway? Once you become successful, all the people that say this is a scam and you shouldn't do it, once you start making the money, they're going to say, wow, I actually do support you. I've always been your supporter since day one. I've had a lot of friends I don't talk about too much that never supported me getting started that are now my biggest supporters. So you shouldn't let what people think about you stop you from getting into wholesaling, especially when you're impressionable 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old. Just do the work now, get rich, and then all your people that aren't supporting you now will 100% do it. So just do the work and get started. The truth is, if you take the action, you take the dedication, you'll get rich in wholesaling real estate. So many people let excuses stop them from becoming successful, and you can't be doing that. You gotta take the action, get your knowledge up, and start getting wholesaling deals. Guys, if you wanna get started in wholesaling real estate, make sure you go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, and make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. This is Zach signing out. Have a blessed one.